facing them, and they would want to set things straight.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant with a starting roster here that has a couple of changes from their last outing. Kevin Lane, the central defender from Guyana, and Kevon Isaacs in for Teje Anderson and regular captain Ladale Ritchie. But overall, a strong-looking starting lineup here for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, very strong lineup. Ritchie has been out, came out the last game with an injury, but that didn't affect them. They still kept a clean sheet, and their players coming in, you expect to do the job. I think Coach Downs have got this team playing very, very well.
Yeah, they were beaten 2-0 by Harbourview in early July, but since then they've played undefeated, this Mount Pleasant team. 2-2 with Malines, then winning over Arnott and Portmore. There's a Waterhouse lineup. Nikolai Finlayson with the captain's armband, 17 years of Premier League football under his belt. Kenroy Howell, the man that we consider to be a key player for them in midfield. Colorado Murray, the former Tivoli man, also there. Damien Binns, who scored a double last time out.
Yeah, Binns, good strike from him, and he'll play a good role in this one.
Captain Horsburgh, centre of excellence in rainy conditions here. The two teams are taking the field. Waterhouse against Mount Pleasant. Yeah, so here's the kickoff now. And Mount Pleasant up against Waterhouse here. And Waterhouse on the attack early from the left side. Ball crossed inside, problems here for...
That one just seemed to needed a runner from Waterhouse from deep, just to the center of the 18-yard box, because that ball was cut out but just fell nicely for a runner if one was coming into that area. When you speak about Waterhouse not beating this Mount Pleasant team so far, and I don't think it's probably the best time too, because the last two games they kept 2 clean sheets as well. So they're very solid in defense. And I think they've conceded only 4 goals so far this season.
Yeah, Waterhouse looking to try to put some pressure on early. First ball of the match. There's Wally Downs, the Englishman, travelling all the way to the Caribbean to take charge of Mount Pleasant.
He's not afraid to change things up, as you heard. Makala, as we see there, was employed in the midfield role last time out. He said he put him there to do a job, and he did it well, but it's back to normal now, so he's employed in his regular role.
There's Marcel Gale, man who calls the shots at Waterhouse. Did a good job at UWI as they made their entry into Premier League football. Just missed qualifying for the playoffs, I think by a point, the very first season with UWI when they started their Premier League campaign, then reached the semis the year after that. There's Odette Hamilton, very, very experienced referee, and is such a quality referee that she held the whistle in the Premier League final 2 seasons ago when Waterhouse battled Portmore.
And she does get the respect of the players too. Her game management is very good as well. You expect that from a FIFA referee.
Yeah. One of the assistant referees, Princess Brown, also has a FIFA badge and has refereed in FIFA World Cup tournaments. Kimar Beckford looks very, very alert early, takes the throw quickly. His cross inside is threatening. Finlayson gets the header out. An overhit pass there, intended for Daniel Green, coming from Kevon Isaacs. Isaacs getting back onto the starting roster. A former Manchester High standout, Kevon Isaacs. Previously played as well with Humberland, had 5 goals in the 2017-2018 season. Benbow with an effort there on goal. McCullough. Still McCullough. Now the Waterhouse men finally get the ball away. That's a foul.
And so far the attack for Waterhouse we've seen coming down their left side. We'll wait to see if that's the area they look to exploit.
Fitness and fouls. Beckford.
So often we've seen for Mount Pleasant to Beckford on the field, you'd have his partner in crime in Francois Swaby as well with him, but he's out with an injury. Coach Down said last week he had a freak injury on the training ground. And also their captain, Dale Ritchie, is out for this one. So
yeah, between Swaby and Bushy Beckford, they've scored over 100 goals in Premier League football between them. Harper with a strike on goal. The ball slips out of the goalkeeper's hand and grabs onto it well second time. Zamoy Mark. Nash.
That's good thinking from Mount Pleasant. You feel how long it would take players to look to go for the shots from distance, because in this condition the goalkeepers will not really relish the condition. It makes very slippery and their handling difficult.
Howell. Offside, yeah. Just saw a bit of a glance there from Rafiq Thomas. Just glancing across. Here's a strike by Harvey, it is. Yeah, but difficult there for Nash to deal with that one. Ball wet and slippery.
And I think it got to him before he could close the hand. Hit it, the mid-rib, and came back out. So it's good pace on that strike as well.
Interesting. Rafiq Thomas has a start here for Waterhouse this afternoon. And there's Kenroy Howell, the 28-year-old, a player with an abundance of ball handling skills.
Yeah, he's a really good technician, Howell. And he has good ball mastery skills.
Here comes McCullough. Has the captain's armband today for Mount Pleasant, with Ladale Ritchie out injured. Here's Rafiq Thomas challenging for the ball. McCullough gives the ball away. Thomas now has it. Very experienced player, Thomas. Patient build up from the halfway line, Waterhouse. Now they've given it away. Harvey. Green trying to split the defense, but sliding ineffectively there to get the ball out. Liston James trying to power the ball into the 18-yard box to give one of his players an opportunity. There's Rafiq Thomas, 36 years old now, the former Boys Town and Harbourview man. Won the Premier League title with Harbourview back in 2013. And also had some success with Boys Town, but now at Waterhouse, and even at his age of 36, represents a danger to a lot of defence lines.
It speaks to how well he has taken care of himself to be able to continue to play at the highest level, and also, as you said, continue to worry opposing players or defenders. That's testimony to him and his work over the years.
So the teams appear to be just getting themselves accustomed to the conditions here, because the ball is slippery and the artificial surface is giving them a little bit of a different proposition than it usually does.
As you see there, that ball played upfield, it's going to just skid and shoot off the surface. It's going to be silky and pacey once it hits the surface, so they're going to have to take a while to measure the amount of weight they put on passes. And we suspect that balls coming in wide with defenders facing their goals are going to be difficult to deal with. So the team that you feel can execute those plays more often are going to have the upper hand in this one and create more problem for the opposing team.
Mount Pleasant on the advance. They've won themselves a corner. Waterhouse man down hurt after attempting to block that cross inside. Kimani Campbell seemed to have struck powerfully into his torso or his face, it seems. So he'll get some medical attention now.
Yeah, it was from close range and it was hit with some force, so you can just imagine.
And there's Wally Downs in the full black. Being from England, I would suggest that he is not unfamiliar to the rainy conditions here. But he won't find it unfamiliar.
Not at all. Spent some time in Newcastle in their academy.
Yeah, here's the play once again, straight into the face of Kimani Campbell. Yeah, very painful, very, very painful. The ball left Cardell Benbow's boot with some power.
It's certainly an example of putting your body on the line for your team. And with that force, I think they're trying to make sure with this concussion protocol to ensure that he is fit to continue.
No goals yet in the fixture. And the rain subsiding just a little bit. It was very, very, very heavy just before kickoff and at kickoff. A little less at the moment, but still raining. There's Benbow, former St. George's College standout, also had some time in the USL Championship with Harrisburg City Islanders. Was prolific for Waterhouse when he was there. Also has some international experience as well, not the least of which at the World Cup level, under 17s. Finlayson. There's Isaacs. Benbow under some pressure, but calms things down. Yeah, so Waterhouse chasing now as well. The whistle goes. Referee Hamilton has seen something and is calling the playback. Well, Nash is down hurt, the goalkeeper for Waterhouse. So he's in some discomfort at the moment. So the game is being held up for that. Probably cramps.
You're players and you're coming out to play in these type of condition. It's very important that you get your body warmed up properly, because these type of condition, if you don't, it's certainly conducive for muscle injuries. So it's important that before a game you would warm up very vigorously, especially in this type of cold, wet condition.
There's McCullough directing traffic because he has the captain's armband today with Ledale Ritchie out injured. Former Portmore player Sula McCullough. And here in the full black in the Mount Pleasant goal is Akil Clark. One of two Ghanis in this Mount Pleasant roster at the moment. And there's Nash. He looks to be ready again, and referee Hamilton will get this one restarted. So a bit of a slow burner at the moment. I think the very, very heavy rain was a little disconcerting to the players at the start. So the build-up and the intensity that we felt coming into this Waterhouse Mount Pleasant fixture, not really delivering at the moment, but let's see how it unfolds. Because this is a clash between two of the top teams in the country. Never mind the current standings, which have Waterhouse at 8th, Mount Pleasant at 3rd.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant, they did have a little slow start to the season, but certainly kicked on since and steadily climbing the table. Waterhouse will want to get back into the top 6 position.
Waterhouse on the advance here with the set play. Mount Pleasant getting it away and now have control through Harvey. Now Isaacs. Oh, delightful ball through here too. Green. Benbow is unable to keep it in. Just a little bit too much pace on it. I think he wanted the pass earlier as well.
Yes, he did. But then the pace with the slippery surface just took it away from him.
Yeah, Waterhouse, no titles in the last 15 years, but they were by a long way the #1 in the 2013-2014 regular season. They were regular season champions then. And they have played in 4 of the last 7 finals, Waterhouse.
And many Waterhouse fans would say to you that had the season concluded last time out, they would have been champion, although Mount Pleasant would have had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, you're right. Waterhouse were really firing last year. The fans felt they were poised for their first Premier League title since 2006. They had a blazing start to the championship last year. 19 points after a 7-game unbeaten run with 17 goals at the start of the season, Waterhouse.
You don't get it much better than that.
Yeah, they weren't able to keep that pace up, but they were good enough to maintain the lead up to March when the tournament was aborted because of COVID-19. And because they've waited so long for another Premier League title, a lot of their fans were so disappointed, as Rafiq Thomas almost got on to the end of one there, that the season was aborted last year, because they felt last season was Waterhouse's season.
They have a long way to go to make this one their season, so could start here with a win that would send them up the table. 10 points, probably in 5th position.
Strong effort on goal, and for some reason Nash foot saves the ball.
I think it was just dipping in front of him, I think, and that's why he went for it. Always difficult with the ball dropping in front of the goalkeeper, and I felt he went for it.
Yellow card comes out here for Ramon Howell. Yeah, let's look at this one again, because Beckford cracks this one at goal.
Yes, I think because it was just dipping so fast in front of him. You've heard it all the time. They say it's dipping in front of the goalkeeper even when they use their hands. Very difficult. Good strike. But in the end, a decent save.
Well, it looks spectacular, I can say that. I'm not sure if technically it's what the copybook or the manual for goalkeeping would suggest, but it was effective.
And that's what matters here. The fact that he kept it out of his goal.
Yeah, Howell is on a yellow card there. Ramon Howell, that's the younger brother of Kenroy Howell, the experienced midfielder. Shot attempted on goal there by, was it Bradford? Didn't really get a hold of the shot properly, and it just went wide. And there's the Ghanese goalkeeper, 32-year-old Akil Clark. Had about 5 or 6 years experience in the Trinidad and Tobago Pro League with St. Anne's Rangers, Central FC and Northeast Stars, and was the man in goal for Ghana during their World Cup qualifiers back in March when they faced Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis and the Bahamas.
And you talk about that, Mount Pleasant is fortunate as we see player down here for
That's Binns.
the Bins. Double goal scorer in their last game. Collision with Mount Pleasant's Daniel Green.
It's Green.
And Green has been a bright spark for Mount Pleasant youngster coming into the game. And no doubt will take their attention. But yeah, you talk about the goalkeeper, and Mount Pleasant, they're blessed with 4 good goalkeepers. And I think there's a rotation system going on here. Keir Clark, Sean Paul, you have David Swaley and Michael McKenzie.
Yeah.
So
good quartet there. The rain has gotten heavier in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, so problems here for Daniel Green. I'm pretty certain they won't take a water break in this match.
They have more than enough coming down.
The rain is really, really heavy again. Green steps off, but he looks okay. You suspect that he will be back on the field in a moment.
Yeah, I really like Green as a really live wire. Likes to go forward, carries the ball quite well.
Waterhouse currently 8th in the table. With a win today, they will jump into a top 6 playoff spot. Mount Pleasant 3rd. If they win, they will go joint top of the table on points with Portmore. Ball crossed inside. The whistle has gone though. Their offence, this Mount Pleasant team, hasn't been firing this season. A mere 5 goals. Only struggling Arnett Gardens and Humberland have scored fewer goals so far this season. The counter, though, is that their defence joint best in the league at the moment, with Portmore conceding only 4 goals.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. In their current run of form, they are the best defensive team, because over their last 2 games, they have not conceded a single goal. So I guess Coach Downs have come in and he has looked to just solidify the defence and make them difficult to beat. They've gone on to win games by 1-0.
They ended the 2019-2020 season, which was aborted, just 1 point behind Waterhouse. Those were the top teams in the Premier League last season, which was prematurely called off. Yeah, Benbow being harassed there, under a lot of pressure. Has not yet fully flourished as a Mount Pleasant player the way he flourished when he was at Waterhouse 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, many have said he has not hit the heights that he did when he was at Waterhouse. Still performing at a level where he finds himself in this Mount Pleasant team week in, week out.
Yeah, Waterhouse claiming that throw through Shaquille Bradford. Beckford keeps possession of the ball. The neat backheel pass. A moment of neat looking football there from Waterhouse. There's Princess Brown. Finlayson looks a little frustrated with his teammates.
Yeah, we haven't gotten off to a spectacle, as you've said, but if one team has settled a little bit better, it is Mount Pleasant than Waterhouse. So yeah, they need to just get on the ball a little bit more and get a few more passes and try to just get a hold of the game.
Accurate pass there across.
You see Mount Pleasant, as we stated, 55% of the possession. So as we state, they're the ones who've settled somewhat.
Clark with a very efficient take airborne there in goal for Mount Pleasant. Pass a little bit short there by Harvey, but Mount Pleasant keeping possession. James, Beckford. Long ball inside, danger here for Waterhouse. Binns it is, I think that got the header on. Here comes Howell, Binns. Thomas standing firm, being fouled, the 36-year-old. Yeah, there's Thomas. Has 176 appearances in Premier League football in Jamaica, 85 goals. So of the current players in the Premier League, there aren't many who would have scored more goals than he has overall.
That's a decent return in terms of games to goals ratio, so yeah.
Howell. Well read there by McCullough. The rebound though falls. Binns goes wide. And here's Howell. Waterhouse on the attack. Akil Clark deflects the ball away.
Yeah, it was a good fizzing ball from, I think it was Colorado Murray.
Yeah, Murray, former Tivoli Gardens standout. And there's Finlayson, doesn't look happy.
They said it did do a lot of work with their central defensive pairing, because Finlayson has been culpable so far in the season, been caught out a few times. So would want to put in a much more solid performance this time around. He's partnered with Sean Dwyer once a few times in this league, about 3 games, and last time we saw Dwyer, he scored an own goal and gave away a penalty. Haven't seen him since, so new partner for Finlayson. Played with Elvis Wilson the last time, so looking to shore things up at the back, Waterhouse. Because like we've said, they're the team that has shipped more points from winning position than any other in the league. Some 7 points from winning positions.
That was Prince Christie just spraying that one forward. A young player with a lot of quality, Prince Christie. Only 18 years old. Played under 17 football for Jamaica in the CONCACAF Championship back in 2019. He was a standout for St. James High in the Costa Cup football. I've been playing the Costa Cup football, Prince Christie, since he was 14 years old.
He's a very good talent. I had the opportunity to see him close up. The club I coach in Holland United, we played a friendly, I think a year or two ago, against Mount Pleasant, and he really did well in that game. Ended 1-1, but he was a good standout in that game. So yeah, good quality player.
Yeah, first season in Premier League football, Prince Christie. Isaacs. Benbow. Under some pressure, forced to play the ball back, so Waterhouse getting behind the ball. McCullough. I think he was aiming there for Beckford, but the pass played much too straight.
Yeah, I think it was definitely for Beckford. I think his other player, teammate, tried to bail him out, but certainly didn't get that. His bearing right there.
James, Harvey, whistle. And the yellow card comes out for Binns. So Damien...
Was it Binns or Finlayson? I think it was Finlayson that got the yellow card.
Where's Finlayson?
Maybe more for something he said.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't part of that play.
Yeah, Finlayson. Yeah, it's Finlayson's yellow card.
Probably just having too much to say for referee Hamilton's liking.
Yeah. I did say a few minutes ago that he doesn't look happy. There's something he looks a little bit ruffled about, Nikolai Finlayson. After so many years in Premier League football, he has pretty much seen it all.
I think Harvey's going to go for goal again. No, not.
Low and hard.
You quite understand why Mount Pleasant will want to shoot from that distance because of the condition, as we said earlier, and difficult situations for goalkeeper and their handling. A lot of challenges going on, but not a lot of goal mount activities in this one so far. The game haven't really got going in terms of that aspect.
James trying to squeeze the ball forward there for Green. Green under a lot of pressure. Tumbles over from the challenge behind from Damien Binns.
Greeny came on in the game against Malines and really did well. Himself and Devonte Campbell came on in that game and was really a catalyst for Mount Pleasant to go on and win it.
Free kick to Waterhouse. Finlayson to Howell, whose pass isn't good. And there goes Green. Yeah, Waterhouse looking a little untidy here at the back. Finlayson fouled. Appears to be lashing out there as well at Harvey. Yeah, did see an arm just fly back there after he fell. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, he's definitely not pleased not having one of his best games in terms of what is going on around him. And just look a little bit flustered. Like I said, I felt in those moments where Waterhouse have given up their leads, he has been caught out of positions a few times.
Yeah, well, it would be frustrating for a player like him with so much quality and never been Premier League champions, having played on so many good Waterhouse teams, beaten finalists and perennial semi-finalists. Well, not necessarily perennial, but pretty much their strike rate of being among the top finishers in Premier League football is almost incomparable. And Finlayson has been a part of that for well over 10 years. Cross inside. Again, another foul. So a lot of, that's Bradford, a lot of Waterhouse men are being fouled in their defensive third, and that probably tells you about the sort of energy and determination that the Mount Pleasant players are using with the high press.
Yeah, I think they've recognised too that Waterhouse have not been really gotten into this game, and they haven't gotten their offensive game going. And so they're looking to take the advantage and just put them under some more pressure because they don't look slick.
Harvey's boss across there to James. Well read there by Finlayson. Under some pressure. And he gives the ball away. Rankin. And Isaacs gives the ball away. Rafiq Thomas forward. And Waterhouse are on the advance here. Howell. Yeah, just trying to slide that ball through there, but a little bit too straight and a little bit too much pace on it.
I was thinking of the shot earlier, but then he got closed down quite quickly, recognizing that he couldn't get it off, was looking to just play that defense splitting pass. Execution not quite up to his intentions.
Green keeps the ball in, but doesn't keep possession of the ball. Waterhouse on the counter. Campbell, Howell, Thomas. Unsuccessful with the turn. Oh, Beckford giving the ball away. Well, a lot of that is happening at the moment. Players, a lot of unforced errors. So the quality of the game at the moment, after 34 minutes, not living up to expectations, as two of the top teams in the land battling for points.
And it's not because of shorter quality in terms of the players on the park, it's just that their execution today has been way off. As you heard Captain Finlayson just asking his team to play it simple and play a lot of simple football, but they are not doing so.
Shaquille Bradford here getting away, and this looked promising, the build up, but the Mount Pleasant defenders, Prince Christie, they are putting a lot of pressure on Bradford, and in the end Howell trying to squeeze the ball through, but the goalkeeper Clark alert.
Yeah, I think Christie did well, just a little body check and chance was gone. He sent the attacker going back to his goal, and that's half the defensive work done. And once it came to Howell, it was closed down quite quickly by Harvey.
Yeah, Campbell miscontrolling there and giving up a throw to the Mount Pleasant team, fairly inside their own half. So the rain has pretty much stopped and the sun is out again. Yeah. Not sure if Downs likes that.
He quickly took his coat off, so yeah, trying to stay cool. But I don't think both these coaches are pleased with what they've seen so far.
McCullough. Tight pass inside, Rankin. Isaacs to Beckford. Beckford trying to set himself up for a left footer. The dummy there through to McCullough. Under pressure from Howell. Benbow. Green goes for the strike, but it's way off target.
Yeah, it calls for a precise technique once you have the ball in these wet conditions. Don't wrap the foot around it and make the right contact, and getting it just spooning off. See it from here, just going off the outside of the instep, high and wide. But Green can create some problems. We see a goalkeeper, Nash, down again.
Yeah, appears to be bothered by cramps. Waterhouse struggling a bit here. They're on a 4-game winless streak. They beat Dunbeholden in their second game of the season in early July, but then drew with Vere, drew with Tivoli, lost to Humberland, which was Humberland's only win of the season up to this point, and then drew with Cavalier last weekend.
And the positive they could take from the Cavalier game coming into this one is that they came from behind
twice,
and yes, and showed good resilience. So they'll feel they're in this game and maybe finding a way now to play to the final whistle. And so with a 0-0 scoreline and the fact that they haven't gotten out of first gear, especially in the attacking part of their game, you feel like they still have a chance in this one.
Yeah, all of the goal scorers the last time these two teams met in December 2019 are on the field at the moment. Mount Pleasant winning that fixture 2-1 with strikes from Kimar Beckford and Kevon Isaacs. Damien Binns had scored for Waterhouse in that game. Just over 7 minutes to the half-time break, plus whatever time to be added on for stoppages. And the rain starts again, not heavily, but it's there. Waterhouse on the attack, looking to up the tempo. Colorado Murray finds room down the right. Morris cross, threatening. Binns Lyons may strike this left with it. He does, but not much power, and the direction is off as well.
Well, the good thing about that is that they tried to play the ball very quickly at Waterhouse, and they played it in the space that was vacated by McCullough. And that was smart from them to try and get in behind the defensive line for Mount Pleasant. So a quick free kick, but also some thought went into it. They often say that great players come alive when the ball is dead.
There's Kevin Lane, the 23-year-old Ghanese at central defence for Mount Pleasant. It's pass upfield. There he is once again. Played his club football in Ghana with New Amsterdam FC and the Ghana Defence Force. Also played World Cup qualifying football earlier on this year for the Ghanese.
It is a good look for the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digital as well. That we do have a lot of players from across the region here looking to apply their trade in the Premier League.
Yeah, there had been some rain in the forecast. Of course, the West Indies and Pakistan playing Test cricket at Sabina Park this weekend, and there was a forecast of rain all 5 days. There were stoppages on the opening day. They were clear on Friday.
They say if you want rain, you put up 6 stumps and you'll get it. So I guess we're getting a spillover from that.
Yeah, so we've had it all today, haven't we? A pretty riveting earth tremor this morning, just after 7 o'clock local time, which affected a lot of places throughout the Caribbean. And now we're having a pretty heavy rain here during the Jamaica Premier League fixture. Howell trying to get the cross in, but blocked. Good defending here from Mount Pleasant.
And Harvey got a yellow card, yes, for his challenge earlier.
Christie goes back to his goalkeeper, Clark. From Guyanese to Guyanese. Clark to Lane. Rankin back to his goalkeeper, Clark. And there's Christie now. Howell. Fouled by Christie. Free kick to Waterhouse. Yeah, Howell was sprinting in to take the return play, but Christie checked his advance, and I think Howell is on.
Yellow card.
Yeah, Howell thinks that was a yellow card offence that stopped him.
Well, because he got one, he's looking to get another player in the books.
Yeah, so Howell not exactly happy at the moment.
What a very good free kick there from Waterhouse. Easily dealt with by Mount Pleasant defenders.
Green fouled. So lots of fouls here. The game being interrupted here because players aren't really being allowed to flourish. I think one of the issues here is that both these teams have a lot of respect for the other's ability. We heard Wally Downs, the Mount Pleasant coach, speaking very highly of Waterhouse, and was suggesting that he wasn't reading too much in the fact that they're 8th in the table. He has watched them play, and he thinks they're a difficult team to beat.
Yeah, he says he felt it's just small margins when they haven't gotten 3 points, so he believes that it can be dangerous if you allow them to. So I guess that's why it's much of a tactical thing. You're not seeing Mount Pleasant going gung-ho and committing players forward and playing at a high pace, though the condition lends itself to that. But I think because of the respect you spoke of, Lance's is approaching this game with a bit more caution than we've seen from them.
And the format of this 2021 competition different from previous tournaments when you would have 3 rounds of football, so each team would play each other 3 times. The season is condensed this year, so it's only 2 rounds, so there's less of an opportunity for teams to overcome poor runs, and the consistency is what's needed here to ensure that you're a part of the top 6 to get into the playoffs.
And yeah, because that is the case, you can see where teams, once they're in the top 6 and they have a little cushion, more cautious in their approach and not really taking too many risks, because the games are running out in this first round, or first stage of the preliminary round of the competition rather.
Bins for Waterhouse. Howell. Bradford's cross inside. Here comes Waterhouse. Team effort on goal. Shaquille Bradford it was. Found himself in the box there with some room. I was anticipating a cracking left-footed shot, and somehow it just looked pretty tame. The cross coming inside there from Devonte Campbell.
He should have fired there the first time when he faked. Didn't. I think that time he would have had a better strike at it. The ball was running away from him too, and the angle was getting smaller, but I felt he was well shaped to go with that first early strike, but just faked and went for it after that and didn't make a proper contact. Was tame in the end.
Mount Pleasant finding room in midfield here. Isaacs. Beckford offside. Yeah, I think this is happening a little too many times here for Kimar Beckford. It's very rare that he plays games and not get caught offside.
Maybe a lack in concentration, not really looking. His field awareness may need to improve, and no matter how experienced they are and they play long, they still can improve their game. He was out wide, so you expect he could have looked across, so maybe not taking the pictures as he should as a player and arching his run rather than going straight.
Yeah, Beckford putting pressure on there and winning the rebound. Here comes Benbow. Oh, his effort is poor, Benbow. I guess if this was at Sabina Park and it was a cricket match, he would get cheers for it, but he won't get any from that effort.
Not at all.
He cleared the fence, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He did. The party mode would have gotten going there. But yeah, I think Beckford also was disappointed because he felt he worked hard to win it back, had made a run into the box, felt it could have been slipped, a pass could have been slipped through to him. That didn't happen. Sun has come out, so I think Gale will get rid of that coat in a short order.
Yeah. 3 minutes added on for stoppages. We're about to see 2 of those 3 minutes expire. And we've had a pretty tame first half here between 2 teams with solid rosters.
Yeah, I can't remember the goalkeepers having to make a telling save except for Nash, one with his foot from a long range effort. I think it was Harvey.
Green. Poor pass by Green, cut off here by Campbell. And Waterhouse are now on the counter attack. Long ball played forward. Too far forward. The 36-year-old legs of Rafiq Thomas would not get to that.
I think he was conserving too. He wasn't even going to attempt that. But I think that sums up the first half pretty much. The final third haven't really shown a lot of quality from either of these 2 teams.
Prince Christie. Whistle. I think that's it for the first half from Odette Hamilton. Water running off her. I'm not sure if it's perspiration or rainwater, but she's done her job for the first half. So have these players, Waterhouse and Mount Pleasant, locked in a pretty untidy and unimpressive first half here between these two teams, and all we can do, Dwight, is hope that they lift their game for the second half, because we know these two teams can do a lot better. Back at the UWIJFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence, and it's 0-0 at half-time between Mount Pleasant and Waterhouse. The sun is out and they are ready for action here. Odette Hamilton, the referee, will start this one. As we said, two-time champions of the Premier League, Waterhouse, 1998 and 2006, runners-up 6 times, including the 5-2 loss to Montego Bay United in 2014. They were runners-up in 2000, 2001, 2013, 2014, 2018, 2019. So we're talking about a team that has the know-how in Premier League football. So for them to be up against a Mount Pleasant team pretty new to Premier League football as far as the club is concerned, and not been able to beat them in five outings, I think that statistic by itself should be enough to fire Waterhouse into a second half performance here that would trouble Mount Pleasant. But let's see what happens. Very, very bright sunshine and hot conditions now. What a contrast to how this game started in heavy rain and dark clouds.
And maybe the lift in the weather condition would also see a lift in the playing performance on the field.
McCullough for Mount Pleasant. Searching ball upfield, but Howell gets in the way. There's Prince Christie. Whistle. Yeah, Christie very aggressive there, the 18-year-old. Very strong and powerfully built young man.
He's come into this team in the centre of defence and has fit in quite seamlessly. Speaks to the connection or the continuity from the academy to the first team. And that is testimony to Mount Pleasant Football Academy.
Waterhouse in possession. Howell robbed up the ball there by Isaacs. There's Rohan Beadle with the throw for Waterhouse. McCullough taking it on the chest. His clearance upfield doesn't get a lot of distance. The ball's still in the Mount Pleasant half. Beckford's pass a little bit short, stolen by Howell, who is roughed up by Rankin. Oh, yellow card to Rankin. So Rankin, who debuted in Premier League football for Sandals FC, former Manning's Da Costa Cup player. Also spent some time at St. Elizabeth Technical, did Rankin. Was with Cavalier after leaving Sandals. Mount Pleasant had their eyes on him, and that's where he is now.
He's done a good job for them. Been a steady player.
Finlayson with a free kick for Waterhouse. Campbell and Binns exchanging passes there, and the ball forced forward. They're looking for Bradford, but Mount Pleasant's defenders taking no prisoners. Early here in the second half. Liston James back to Christie. Yeah, he was aiming there for Beckford, I thought. but miscued the effort and it went out for a throw. Lane going up for the header, shadowing and allow his fellow Ghanese goalkeeper Clark to come through to grab the ball at the top of his 18-yard box. Beckford heads on. Harvey. Beckford to James.
Yeah, it was looking good up to that point.
Yeah, Green just trying to squeeze that one through, not quite breaching the defense line. And Howell takes it away now. Mount Pleasant player down. Howell sprints forward, but again, Clark is there. Now referee Hamilton is allowing some attention for
McCullough.
this. Yeah, McCullough looks to have a lot of discomfort there in the back. Wearing the captain's armband today because Ladale Ritchie's out injured. Oh yeah, the boot just jamming into the back there of McCullough. Yeah, that would have been pretty painful. So some magic spray and some ice being applied to the area to just take the pain away.
I suspect that should suffice. But it would take something for a big man to go down, and yes, boot did catch him in the back.
Yeah. Anxious to see a lift in performance from these two teams though, because the first half was considerably below the level you'd expect from these two teams, and the expectation was, after the halftime talk from Marcel Gale for Waterhouse and Wally Downs for Mount Pleasant, that both teams would have injected in them some life and quality. But 6 minutes into the second half, we are still seeing a game that is tame.
Yeah, very tame. With Coach Downs though, he would have known his last two games he came away with 1-0 wins, so still feel that things are going according to plan. Beat Waterhouse Arnott Garden by a goal to nil. His last game against, and also against Portmore, he won that one by a goal to nil, so I still think he's on course to keep a third clean sheet and find a way to get that go-ahead goal. I feel that's his model, since he has gotten this team to settle and impose his style.
Ramon Howell there, the younger brother of Kenroy Howell. Beckford's cross. Wow. Very, very vital intervention there. Knocking the ball away.
Yeah, he felt he had to get there, and had he not done so, would have been a tap-in, you feel. Stretched himself.
Ball crossed inside, header out. Isaacs goes wide. Once the return pass, gets it, but his first touch doesn't allow him to keep it, although he's complaining that he was fouled by Nicholson. Yeah, just questioning the referee's call there, or a lack of call in his favor. Excellent first touch that was. Binns loses it. Here's Mount Pleasant in transition now. Beckford has it. James wants it wide. The ball played right through there. Just a little bit too much pace on it. Nash gets there.
That was good intention there from Beckford. Just execution off, but had he gotten that one right, then that would have been a peach of a pass.
Yeah. Himself and Benbow had combined for a lot of scoring success for Waterhouse before they went to Mount Pleasant. And you just saw a small image of that understanding that they developed through the years with that pass, but just a little bit too much weight on it because Benbow almost got onto the end of it.
Yeah, Benbow timed his run very well, beat the offside trap. And had it not been just over it, then he would have gotten to the end of it. Coach Downs here just trying to figure out how does he break down this Waterhouse team, how does he get his team to up the tempo and up the quality. I think the same is being taught of by Marcel Gale.
Himself and assistant coach Damien Gordon there just checking their timepieces. So a critical part of that discussion could actually be substitutions and when they are going to be made, because typically the hour mark is is where a lot of coaches contemplate making changes, and we're 4 minutes from that now.
Yes, and I think that might have been a part of their discussion just now. But I feel coaches tend to do that like it's a script in the book, but I think you just try and influence the game once you see it not going a particular way. And with 56 minutes on the clock, if you feel it's needed, then I don't think you have to wait for the 60th. But we see some movements on the Waterhouse bench, so that's good.
Waterhouse on the attack. The ball set back here too. Oh, Bradford completely miskicks the ball.
Yeah, he got the technique all wrong there. Not quite sure if he slipped just before hitting or he got his boot stuck in the turf.
Yeah.
But certainly, or his body shape wasn't right. If we have another look here.
Yeah, a little bit behind him, yes. The ball was, but wow.
Maybe he should have gone with the inside of the foot. Just let it come onto him a little bit more. Just get that foot around it. But as we see players from the Waterhouse getting warm. You see Andre Fletcher, part of that.
Bradford.
And Denardo Thomas. And sometimes that's what the game needs. Just a change of personnel. Sometimes it's a change of shape. But certainly this game is in need of something.
Yeah. Prince Christie. Rankin. Harvey. And the 18-year-old continuing to look really, really comfortable on the ball, Prince Christie. Liston James, headed pass, intercepted by Bradford. Here's Rafiq Thomas. First touch not as good as it needed to be, but he keeps the ball, and Campbell's cross inside is a little bit too close to goalkeeper Clark, who takes it easily. Good work by Harvey. Good skill. Liston James. Studying which pass he wants to make. Now the pass opens up through Green. Green does well here, sets himself up and the ball back. The effort on goal by Beckford is way over the top.
Yeah, I was always leaning back, Beckford, but again, a little glimpse of what we know Daniel Green can do. Once he gets on it and he gets into the box, has some fast feet. Can't really touch him there, and once it came to Beckford, leaning back, looking for the top corner, not getting the curl and also leaning back.
Yeah, 30 years old now, Kimar Beckford. And as I said at the top of the match commentary, he's a rhythm kind of player. When he starts to score goals, he tends to be prolific, but then he does have scoring droughts. For a man to score his first goal of the season last weekend for Mount Pleasant is not normal for him. You wanted to feel when he scored last week for the victory against Portmore that it would start his scoring form coming back, but so far we haven't seen that. He was the leading scorer last year when the tournament was aborted. 14 goals for Kimar Beckford, and I think his last season with Waterhouse he was also the top scorer there as well.
Yeah, don't want to, and he won't tell you that it's age catching up. He'll just tell you that it's been a lean spell, but as you say, not customary to see him with such a long spell. Well, sometimes he does go into those, but yeah, he got a goal last week, so you expected that he would have kicked on from that.
Howell goes for goal from distance. Here comes Campbell. Liston James with a sliding challenge.
Felt he had to time that one very well.
Yeah.
Inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, unable to keep that one in that time. Shaquille Bradford spent some time on the Boys Town books. Shaquille Bradford. One goal this season for Waterhouse, scored in their 2-0 victory over Dunberholden in early July. There goes Binns. Binns with a strike on goal, blocked by Prince Christie. Gets in the way. The 18-year-old stands firm in defence for Mount Pleasant on the hour mark.
He's having a decent game too. Haven't really put a foot wrong, except for the fact that when he picked up the yellow card.
Good cross inside. And it's McCullough who's getting the ball away eventually. But that was a pretty close call for Mount Pleasant, wasn't it? Here comes Finlayson. Whistle. Murray. Howell. Still Howell. Headed away by Lane. Harvey's pass with the outside of his boot, intercepted. McCullough to Isaacs. Harvey. James. Christie. Yeah, tried to force that pass through there to Liston James, but there were some Waterhouse men in close proximity, so that wasn't a high percentage pass.
No, and sometimes you're in those positions and you're not getting the movement in front of you. It's best to just keep possession going back and not just play a ball forward. Sometimes we get our forwards into this lazy situation where they don't move as well as they should because we're going to try and force it even when it's not on.
Green goes wide here to Beckford. Beckford still. Isaacs sets the ball back. Harper with a drive on goal, but there are players in the way. Liston James wins a throw, I think, has he? Yes, he has.
And Mount Pleasant, they will try and also freshen up things. You have the likes of Keslan Hall, who has scored this season as well. That's on their bench.
Lane to Rankin. Rankin's pass is cut off. That was fairly predictable, so the Waterhouse men had no problems intercepting. Waterhouse on the counter now. Colorado Murray tumbles over from the McCullough challenge.
I was weak on that challenge. McCullough was strong and used his arm very well.
Yeah,
Murray, besides himself, felt that was a good opportunity for him to bear down on goal.
yeah, has had a bit of a disappointing outing so far, Colorado Murray. Had 12 goals last season, Murray. And in the 2018-2019 season, 13 for Tivoli Gardens, where he was at the time. So his lack of scoring so far this season would be a bit disappointing for him.
We're really unable to get his season going, Murray.
Yeah,
You could see him.
did score one goal in their loss to, well, he did score the goal in the Waterhouse loss to Humberland, Colorado Murray. But he has a track record of scoring goals. And with just one goal so far this season from 7 games, we'd rank that below par for him.
Yeah, it was definitely in this Waterhouse team. Sometimes they can look blunt in their attack. So far today, they have cut that figure.
Good football from Waterhouse. Yeah, Prince Krista there with a flick back.
How often have you said that this game, Lance? Christie is really, whether or not he knew a lot about it, but he has been in good positions, and maybe he was making a good recovery run there to be found in that position.
Couple of changes being made now on the Mount Pleasant roster. Among them, Devonte Campbell, the number 7, coming in. Speedy player.
Did talk about him.
Jordan Fletcher and Kesslin Hall also standing by. So clearly, Coach Wally Downs feels that the front men need to be doing a lot more. So he swept the forward line. Here comes Campbell. Can this have the same effect? He's in for Daniel Green that Cavaliers' offensive changes had at half-time for them.
Yeah, well, Campbell certainly he can create that type of situation, or he can be the catalyst for them. And we've seen it from him before. Fletcher in for Beckford.
Yeah, Jordan Fletcher, outstanding striker for Mount Pleasant, now gets some playing time. Kesslin Hall is also in. Jordan Fletcher, 23 years old now, scored 30 plus goals in Cornwall College's the Costa Cup title winning campaign, and also the Golden Boot winner in the 2016 Super Cup. And there's Andre Fletcher in for Rafiq Thomas. So Waterhouse making a change on the front end as well. This ball squirts over to the other side of the field from the corner, and it's awarded to Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, but in Kesslin Hall, Mount Pleasant have a player who can score goals, and he can be on the end of balls played into the box.
Yeah, Binz's clearance a little tame. McCullough. Finlayson with a clearance, but not a lot of distance on the clearance. Foul committed, free kick. Yeah, the Waterhouse player there looked to be knocked in the face as he went up for that one. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, just shoved in the face there, Elvis Wilson.
Many will feel that Jordan Fletcher hasn't really replicated his schoolboy form once he made a step up to senior football, and a lot of times that have come down to him being not fit on a lot of occasions. So he needs to get that right, because we know what he can do, but you have to be in the condition to be able to do it. You see Thomas there, as you mentioned, coming in.
Yeah, he's in for Shaquille Bradford, Denardo Thomas. Yeah, but Jordan Fletcher had his introduction to Premier League football at Montego Bay United and then shifted over to Mount Pleasant. But hasn't really made the transition from schoolboy standout to Premier League star. But he does have quality.
Yes, but much like we've seen from the likes of Atkinson in the first game and Webster really doing well, he needs to stamp his class, because we know he has it. But he has to take better care of himself and get himself in a better condition.
Yeah, he was a teammate of Peter Lee Vassell on that famous Cornwall College winning team.
Yes.
Peter Lee Vassell, of course, going on to play MLS football. Didn't go on from there, though, and is now in the USL Championship. But he does have an overseas pro contract, Peter Lee Vassell, and has played a few internationals for Jamaica as well. Kesslin Hall. Bad pass, and Campbell can't get to it. Fletcher hustled off the ball there and losing it. Benbo's good pass over to the left to Jordan Fletcher. McCullough. Rankin. Here comes Liston James. Yeah, Campbell taking it on the thigh, but the touch was a little heavy, so he lost it, and now a foul.
There's Rankin there on Murray. Rankin seemed to have hurt himself with that challenge on Murray.
Yeah, just by the side of the knee there. Maybe a tendon or something just being jarred.
He seemed to have twisted his foot, just had his studs stuck in the turf as he made the challenge.
Yeah, that is one of the things about this artificial surface that has bothered some of the players. So some of them don't like it very much. Yeah, so Rankin will take some time on the sideline, and I would suspect return shortly, but the Mount Pleasant number 12 warming up as well. That's Latroy Lang. I think he would have been one of the original Mount Pleasant men that assisted them in qualifying for the Premier League before the wholesale roster shake-up. Yeah, Binns hurt in that challenge there from McCullough, was it?
Yes, he got a yellow card for that effort as well.
Yeah, McCullough doesn't agree with the call. Binns does have some power in his strikes. I just wonder if he may be thinking here of going for goal from this distance.
The way he's shaping up, looks like that's what he's about to do.
A two-man wall being set up, make it, yeah, two. I was about to say three, but goalkeeper Clark seems to be okay with two. Here comes Binns now. Goes for goal, does Binns! And the diving save from Nash. I knew Binns was eyeing something spectacular.
definitely stung the palm of Nash. Nash just flung himself to his right. Needed a full frame of his body to really keep that one out. But that was a good strike.
Yeah, Rankin, who's just left the field, apparently isn't coming back. And it seems as if Leng will replace him. Yeah, Fletcher trying to charge down from the left side there, but just overhit the ball and lost control. There's the Binns effort again. Diving save from the Guyanese in goal. Does really well there. Very testing effort from Binns, who was a part of the Portmore Premier League winning squad in 2012. Very experienced player, Damien Binns. Big long kick downfield and over the touchline. Yeah, so there's the replacement for Leonard Rankin, Latroy Leng. (29 years old now, Leng, and gets some playing time in his Mount Pleasant shirt. Howell. Prince shoves him over. Corner. Yeah, pretty untidy Mount Pleasant just now on that play.
Yes, most definitely. Didn't look the usual self. And you felt there were some level of indecision there as to when the ball was played through. It didn't seem threatening at first.
Thomas with a corner, threatening. Has that gone for another corner? No, it's a throw. And the throw is actually for Waterhouse, I think. It's a Mount Pleasant throw. McCalla. Less than 15 minutes remaining now. And at the moment, still no goals between these two teams. Wouldn't be the first time that they've had 0-0 scoreline since the start of the season. Mount Pleasant were 0-0 in their opening game of the season against Tivoli Gardens. And Waterhouse were 0-0 against Veer mid-July.
Yeah, and I think both coaches have played their part somewhat in terms of bringing on fresh players and different type of dimensions to try and influence the game. I haven't seen that materialize as yet in terms of it playing out into goal scoring opportunities. I think that Binns effort just now has been the best of the second half.
Yeah, much too much weight on that pass attempted by Latroy Leng. And who would have thought that the Cavalier Malines opener of this doubleheader would have been by far the more entertaining of these two games.
Yeah, so often you look at games and we always say that games have to be played out, but you look at the quality and you think this should be an exciting game. But oftentimes we've seen that where teams recognizing the quality of each other and in the end, based on their tactical outlay and the approach to the game, just nullify each other, and then you end up with a stalemate.
Well, it's a stalemate at the moment, but there's still a lot of time for scoring. As there is now, there goes Fletcher. Can Fletcher set himself up for the left footer? He does, but the deflection takes the power off it. And in the end, Clark has an easy save. But Andre Fletcher almost lit up the skies here for Waterhouse in that moment.
I think, again, he did well, but also credit Christie, who seemed to have been second best in the foot race, but then recovered to get a boot to it. And then that shot was very team, and it's got to Nish.
Yeah, it's in. Was there a whistle? The flag is up from Princess Brown. Yeah, I thought something looked out of sorts with that. She's having a conversation, I think, with the referee. In the meantime, the game, well, it had restarted, they thought. So that Princess Brown and she is awarded the goal.
Yes, I think she said, all right, go on to Odette Hamilton. So, I mean, players stopped. It just looked as if they got some indication, Mount Pleasant, also that something was off.
Yeah, well, let's see what happened here, because the ball came over. Oh, wow. Maybe the Mount Pleasant men thought that Howell could have been in an offside position, or is it that was the ball in before Fletcher got to it? It was in before Fletcher got to it, so it's Howell's goal. So Kenroy Howell in the second half gets his first goal of the season for Waterhouse. And Waterhouse have taken the lead here with just over 10 minutes to go, as they're eyeing their first ever win of Mount Pleasant in Premier League football in Jamaica.
And the goal was even an example of how the game has played. I mean, it just came out of nothing. It was just, I mean, almost as if the game had stopped. But Waterhouse now will know that they will have to do well to close this out. As we've said before, they are the team that has lost more points from winning positions than any other team in the league so far. 7 points they have dropped from winning positions. So here they are again, leading. And now we see Coach Gale looking at his watch. Maybe he wants this one to end. No.
Well, I think, as you said earlier on, sometimes events of the past play on players' minds or coaches' minds, and he knows that he's been here before where he's eyeing 3 points and suddenly his advantage is gone. Great work there by Campbell, but he loses possession eventually. And I wonder what's going through this man's mind. It's a very hard taskmaster, we have told. His coaching style demands a lot from his players, and he won't like this at all.
He hasn't been liking it so far. He's been shouting a lot, pacing a lot on the touchline. Just cannot seem to get through to his players. We see Murray here. Colorado Murray down.
Yeah, apparently the right ankle. There's some issue there with the ankle. He was rubbing it just now. Yeah, there's getting some magic spray applied to it. We're just under 9 minutes plus stoppage time to be added here. And Waterhouse have taken a lead on Mount Pleasant. As we said, the Waterhouse team, they haven't won since the 3rd of July when they beat Dunbeholden. 3 drawn results and a loss to Humberland. And at the moment, they are eyeing a victory over Mount Pleasant, who have been on a 2-game winning streak.
And eyeing 5th position as well.
Yeah, they are.
Big question is, can they hold this one out, Waterhouse?
Kenroy Howell setting the ball across, and Denardo Thomas with the effort just drags it wide. Waterhouse with a great opportunity here to seal it at 2-0.
Yeah, that would have been a difficult task for Mount Pleasant to come back from that. And you felt, had he had that shot on target, he definitely looked as if he had the beating of Akil Clark. But certainly, that's a missed opportunity. And the substitute coming on fresh legs. You felt he should have done better. Good ball laid back to him by the goal scorer. And looked like he could have had a goal and an assist. But the goalkeeper, Clark, would have been a spectator had that one been on target.
Yeah, so Mount Pleasant, unless they can rebound with a late goal here, are facing their 2nd loss of the season. Murray with the effort on goal, but Clark equal to the task on the near post. Mount Pleasant with an opportunity to go top of the table jointly with Vere if they won this fixture. At the moment, not looking like having that benefit going in their favor.
Not at all. And would it be the first defeat for Coach Downs since he took charge of Mount Pleasant? I think.
Yes, it would be. He took charge immediately after the first loss when Mount Pleasant were beaten by Harbourview, and then he took charge for the Malines game, and then against Arnott and Portmore, and this would be his 4th game in charge.
Yeah, and they've only lost one, so yeah, he would be tasting defeat for the first time. I'm not pleased at all. His team never really got going, or at least so far.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant getting ready to make another change, and Captain Sula McCalla apparently exiting the game, and Ricardo Gaynor coming on in his place. I'm not sure who he gave the captain's armband to, but he certainly left it with someone. So McCalla off, Gaynor on. Latroy Leng has the armband now, the captain's armband. Came on as a substitute, and now one of the original Mount Pleasant men wearing the captain's armband. That's Beadle down injured there for Waterhouse. So the live table at the moment showing Mount Pleasant still in 4th place, and Waterhouse jumping up into 5th on 10 points. That's the live standings based on the current score after 85.5 minutes in this match.
And you expect a lot of shuffling in the table as this preliminary round gets to the business end. We're going to see a lot more movement, I suspect, because of how close the points standing is, and also how close these teams have been so far in the season. I mean, on any given day, as we're seeing here, any team can beat the other one.
Yeah, and we were making the point that because of UWI's withdrawal from the tournament from the very, very beginning, the number of games played a little lopsided coming into the round. Some teams with 7 matches, some teams with 6. So you have to factor that as well when you're assessing the point standings. Denardo Thomas. Thomas turning himself. The rebound, and Clark has to take it second time, as there were a couple of Waterhouse men pouncing on the rebound.
Yeah, that was a difficult one. Again, that was one that was dropping just in front of the goalkeeper. So in the first half, he had to deal with a shot. And so always difficult when it drops in front of the goalkeeper.
Leng, still Leng, goes wide out there to Jordan Fletcher. Back to Leng. Liston James. Whistle. Yeah, something happened in the box there that we didn't quite see. And there's a Waterhouse man down hurt. Yeah, so just a few minutes remaining here. And Odette Hamilton comes across to see exactly what's happening. She's taking a card out. It's going to be a red card to Benbow. Wow. So clearly something that was off the ball. Benbow is off on a red card. And the horrors for Mount Pleasant continuing. They're down to 10 men with a few minutes remaining as they face their second loss of the season. That was Kimani Campbell who was the victim there, and Benbow is off on a red card.
Yeah, And it's gotten a little bit more difficult for Mount Pleasant now. Down a goal, down a man. Bemba looks dejected walking off. But and the timing of his red card as well, not a lot of time in this one for Mount Pleasant to try and get back into it.
Yeah. It's been one of those fixtures as well that the game has been so tame and uneventful that, you know, the man of the match honor now becomes such a difficult task, because there's no clear standout performer. I mean, Howell scored what looks at the moment to be the winning goal, and he had a pretty decent effort, so he obviously is in the conversation.
And he's coming out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the feeling in a game as dull as this one, it was a one moment that lit up the game. So here we see it. Good touch too. I mean, very often we see players go for that finish and it goes over the top. So it was a good controlled chip, somewhat over the goalkeeper. So good finish by him. So I think if it stays this way, he would be my pick.
Yeah. Andre Leslie's on for him. And looks quite a few pounds heavier, Andre Leslie, than the last time we saw him. There he is. But Kenroy Howell now off, but has had a pretty solid game, always threatening with his skillful dribbles, his ball handling skills, close ball. Oh, Leslie steals it here. Still Leslie. Goes wide. Sliding challenge. Harvey from Mount Pleasant. They appear to have run out of ideas, Mount Pleasant. Oh, foul. Yeah. Harvey's in a lot of pain and the yellow card comes out. 5 minutes added on for stoppages. That's Ron Beadle, who himself was in some pain a few minutes ago. Decides to exert some pain as well.
Yeah, dangerous challenge that he left the ground both feet.
Yeah.
And those we've seen result in much worse than what we see out there now. So a worthy yellow card, you feel?
Yeah, that's an inescapable yellow card. There's no way the referee wouldn't have given a card for that.
I'm happy to see that Harvey is up and about.
Foul. On for Jordan Fletcher, who was looking threatening. It's the kind of position he scores goals from, because he just shrugged off the challenge and you could see him just trying to set himself up for a clean shot on goal. Well, the pressure from behind denied him. Looks a little bit in discomfort from the challenge, but I'm sure he's interested in the free kick as well. Yeah, there's Binns putting a lot of pressure on Fletcher.
And Binns himself will know the danger of a free kick in this area.
Yeah.
He did score one from this position in his last game.
Yeah, Ling and Fletcher, the two men standing behind it. Ling drives it toward goal. Ball slips out of Nash's hand. Holds on well second time. Yeah, and he looks to be hurt as well. Or maybe just killing time.
Well, I don't know these players. They recognize, or they should know that if they try to kill time, the referees are always going to put it back on.
Yeah.
Best you just get on with it. And so we have a look at the free kick here. Did get it around the wall. Not the best handling from Nash.
Yeah.
I think he was grabbing me more so. His technique there at fault.
James tackles well. Lane goes wide to the substitute gainer. who gives up a free kick in a pretty threatening position. A minute and a half of stoppage time remaining, and Waterhouse are on the verge of scoring their first win over Mount Pleasant in Premier League football in 6 tries. Leslie. Yeah, Leslie goes to the corner flag and decides he's gonna kill some time out there. He wished maybe that he had won a corner there, but he didn't. And Mount Pleasant. Oh, Clark with a bad pass out. The shot on goal, powerfully struck into the net. And Waterhouse are sealing it here. Andre Fletcher with a strike.
Yeah, the substitute coming on and really making his mark in this game. This was a powerful shot in the roof of the net. And by the time goalkeeper Clark there.
Yeah, he'll feel badly about it because it was his very, very careless pass out that invited Fletcher with a strike. And after scoring against Harbourview and again against Tivoli Gardens, Andre Fletcher powerfully strikes this left-footed shot past Clark for his 3rd goal of the season. And Waterhouse have emphatically won this one in the end.
Well, Clark there, we see him putting his hand up, acknowledging that he's at fault, but effectively that hand is like a white flag waved here by Mount Pleasant. It's pretty much surrender at this stage because there's no way back for them. And it flew past him before he knew it.
Yeah.
And Fletcher, you felt, put every pound of his body behind that strike. So 3rd goal of the season for Fletcher, but you feel this will be very important to him because it gets Waterhouse back into the mix of things, 5th place. A well-needed win, one that stops their streak of not having a win.
So the 5 minutes added on for stoppages, expiring, but some more time added on because of some slight delays. Team effort attempted on goal there by Campbell. And there's the whistle, the final 1-2, and it's Waterhouse winning by 2 goals to 0